guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm gonna do my version of a video that's very, very commonly done, but I'm gonna kind of fill in some holes. I'm gonna kind of provide some information that I feel like is missing from a lot of different versions of this video. So this is my version of kind of like a how to start a YouTube channel video, but mine is a little bit different. Mine is more like what they don't tell you, because if you go to like a lot of people with a really big channel or really quick success on YouTube or something like that, like if you ask them like, how'd you do it? What are the things that you did? Beyond like the general outlines that they give you in those videos, like be yourself and network online and blah, 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 have good equipment, they don't know. But if you're trying to start a YouTube channel, there are some things that you should do that a lot of people don't talk about, so let's get into those. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you do so, and follow me on social media. I'm on Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram and Musical.ly and all the things. So let's get started. We're gonna start with the first one, which was execution. People like Casey Neistat, people like Gary Vaynerchuk, people who have had a lot of success, and their success just came from a lot of hard work. You'll often hear people like that saying that anybody can have ideas, but it's about the execution and the way that you actually present your ideas that makes you different from everybody else. And the idea here is that anybody can have an idea for anything, and it may be a good idea, it may be a bad idea, it really doesn't matter, but if they present it in a way that is interesting, entertaining, valuable, that is going to be impactful, that is going to get seen by a lot of people, that is going to become successful. So let's take an example. So say someone has an idea to make a video about bananas. Bananas are not particularly interesting, but they could be made interesting. So say someone who's more of like a comedian takes this idea and makes it into like, you know, I don't know, I'm not a comedian, but like takes the banana to different places, shows it doing different things, gives it a voice and a character, and personifies this banana and makes it interesting, makes it entertaining, makes it funny. This could be really, really interesting, even though it started out with just a stupid old banana. Somebody else might take a banana and say, okay, I'm a beauty YouTuber, so I'm gonna take this banana and I'm going to mix it with avocado and honey and oatmeal, and I'm gonna make a face mask. You know, like, it all started with a banana, same thing. Like, you can have an idea and interpret it in so many different ways. And in fact, 1,000 people can have the same idea, but if they present it differently, each one, and do a really, really good job of developing their concept and developing their execution, they can all be equally entertaining, equally valuable, equally exciting. Okay, the next one is networking and making friends online. This is really, really important. I think that, you know, the people that you surround yourself by say a lot about you. They also say a lot about who you will become and where you will go and the things that you will achieve and stuff like that. I've seen this done very, very wrong online though. On YouTube, on Instagram, any platform where people have figured out, oh, I can get famous if I get a whole ton of followers. Really, really important that you kind of take a step back and view this whole networking and making friends thing online differently. There are so many people out there who all they do is comment on other people's videos, like sub for sub or like awesome video, for the sake of just getting their face out there and commenting on other people's videos so that people see them and go back to their channel. There's nothing wrong with that fundamentally, but the way they go about it and the kind of like the motive behind those actions is where it sometimes can be a problem. It's very like long-term thinking, the way that you need to see this, but it's really important to make friends online, make connections online for the sake of making genuine human connections. And this takes a longer time. It takes more energy, more time, more investment. If you're just kind of in it to like step on people to get to the top, that's not right. It's not going to sit well with people, and people aren't going to want to watch you if that's what your motive is. So instead of going to other people's channels and saying like, oh, sub for sub, or joining, like I've seen a lot of like Facebook groups for YouTubers that it's all about like supporting each other, which is good, but what they mean is like subscribing and viewing and thumbs up for the sake of numbers, and it just doesn't make sense. This should all be about relationships. It should all be about adding value to people's lives. It should be about people, not numbers. Something that's really important to note on this topic is that building relationships and friendships and connections, it's really all about adding value to another person's life. So if you have advice for them, or, you know, seek out people that maybe you want to connect with and find a way that you can help them. Like, why would somebody want to or feel the need to help you or to be friends with you? Or, you know, this goes for all relationships. If you don't have something to contribute, things that people search for, things that kind of solve a problem for somebody, like, or answer a question or fill a need that people have, those things are going to be things that add value to the lives of the people that are watching you. And those are really good ways to grow and good ways to get your content out there. The next one, number 3, is your attitude. So this is all about your attitude and like what is in here behind the content that you're putting out. Don't feel entitled. Don't feel entitled to views, subscribers, thumbs up, shares, clicks. Don't feel like just because you're creating content and you're working your butt off that you deserve that like engagement and that activity. I have a strong belief that if you do a really, really good job, if you create good content and you keep doing it, like Casey Neistat says, just keep uploading. I think that if you stick to it, you will be successful. People will find you. Like, the cream always rises to the top is what I think. That's something I got from Gary Vaynerchuk. Check him out, and Casey. I'll link them both down below. I watched a video recently of a girl who I actually don't know at all. I've never seen her before or anything, but she has a channel that's maybe double the size of mine. And she was basically on there, and she seems like a really sweet, really cool girl. But what she was saying bothered me because she was coming from the wrong place. She saw her viewers as like rungs on a ladder, like things that she needed to collect in order to be boosted up to where she wanted to go. And she was basically saying, you know, I create content for you guys like multiple times a week or once a week or whatever it is, and I spend a lot of time and a lot of energy and blah, blah, blah. And therefore she felt really entitled to likes and comments and views and subscribers and shares. She was like, you guys, you're not sharing my stuff. You're not liking my stuff. You're not commenting. We're not supporting each other. We need to be here for each other and stuff. And to me, it was just like, first of all, if I was one of her subscribers, I'd feel like, oh, I kind of thought we were cool. I kind of thought we were friends. And now I feel kind of like you're just using me as another like click, like another like, another whatever. But also I felt for her because I felt like you can't actually be happy. If that's your outlook on what you're trying to do, that does not create happiness. That is a never-ending cycle. And when you have 16 million subscribers, it's not gonna be enough. I can tell you, in this world, nobody is entitled to anything. Some people think they are, some people feel like they are, some people act out of the feeling that they're entitled. Some people treat other people a certain way because of their feeling of being entitled, but you're not actually. There's no reason that because you're like some magical snowflake, which you are, there's no reason that that means you should have the world. No, you have to work hard and tirelessly and endlessly to get where you want to go, and anybody does. And the third little part of this attitude section is kind of like taking responsibility for not being successful or not being successful yet, or your shortcomings or your failures. If I say, well, you know, a lot of people are successful because they know somebody famous and that person helped them to get where they are, or if I say somebody's successful because they have a lot of money to begin with and they were able to buy a really expensive camera, they're able to assemble a really nice background, they're able to live in a beautiful house that people want to see in the background, they're able to afford a lot of really nice products that people want to see. Those are all excuses for why I'm not where they are, but they're not reasons. And the difference here is that if you make excuses and don't take responsibility for where you are and what you have and have not accomplished, that takes the ability to grow out of your hands. So if you blame something outside of yourself or someone outside of yourself or circumstances out of your control for where you are, you can't rise above that, because the only way you can rise above where you are is by taking matters into your own hands and working your way out of that situation. I want where I am right now to be my fault and my responsibility, because that is the only way that I can change it. Because I can look at that and say, okay, cool. So because I haven't done this, or because I did do this, I'm here. I want to be here. How do I get there? How do I bridge that gap? What can I do to bring myself to where I want to be? This section is a quick one, and it is basically perseverance, or like kind of keep at it. It's really important. The YouTube algorithm rewards consistency, and I think a lot of other social media algorithms do too. Now, the YouTube algorithm is something that is not understandable. They change it all the time. They try to keep ahead of the curve so that people don't like hack it, which I totally get and I actually appreciate. But I do know that it rewards consistency and it rewards activity as well. So that's one thing to do, and it's hard to do that sometimes when you feel like, you know, maybe you have like 10 subscribers and you've been doing this for 6 months or more, and you're like, why am I not growing? But it does have a lot to do with SEO. It does have a lot to do with the algorithm, and there are things that you can do to actually work that to your advantage. And consistency is a really, really major example of that. I challenge you to, if you're starting a channel now, or if you've started one 10 years ago and it's just not growing, I challenge you to upload 2 to 3 times a week for the next 18 months, promote it on all social media, Snapchat every day related to your content or related to whatever it is that you're trying to create your personal brand around. Making your content really good, thinking about it in terms of providing value to your audience, using hashtags, using search words, all of that kind of stuff. I bet you anything you are gonna have a successful channel in 18 months or less. I mean, I honestly do, because I think there's a lot about it that actually is within your control if you view it that way. And the last one we've actually already talked about a little bit within the other sections, and that is the idea of providing value. So I did kind of touch on it a little bit, especially in terms of like networking, but your content in and of itself should provide value too, because the market is so saturated, because there are thousands of people in every niche that you are trying to break into. You have to be different than those. You have to be better in some way. Maybe you don't have the best camera, but maybe your comedy sketches are better than anybody's out there, and one share on Facebook by the right person will pick that up and give you some momentum and some speed, you know, but you have to have the content to back it up. So anyway, those are my 5 tips for growing your presence on YouTube. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I hope that it added value to your life. And if you guys have not subscribed already, I'd love to have you do so and join the family. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.